The bourbon tastes like regret tonight. But then again, most things do when you're married to Trish Clark. I'm sitting at Toby's bar, my usual Friday night refuge, watching the foam settle on my third beer while trying to forget another week of her passive-aggressive masterclass in marital destruction. You look like someone stole your lunch money, Chris. Billy Jones slides onto the bar stool next to me, his locksmith uniform still carrying the scent of WD-40 and honest work. Unlike me, Billy never pretended his life was something it wasn't. Worse, my wife's going on another girls' weekend. I signal the bartender for another round. Third one this month. Apparently, Connecticut casinos have become the new spa experience. Billy raises an eyebrow. Since when does Trish gamble? Since never. But according to her, she's suddenly developed a passion for slot machines and sisterly bonding. The sarcasm drips from my voice like honey from a broken jar. She's going with Julie and Karen, the dynamic duo of enabling sisters. Here's what you need to understand about my wife. Trish Clark is a PR executive who could sell ice to penguins and make them thank her for the privilege. She's beautiful in that calculated way that requires 2 hours of preparation and costs more than my monthly car payment. Every conversation with her feels like negotiating a hostage release, where I'm both the negotiator and the hostage. Maybe she really needs time away, Billy offers, though his tone suggests he doesn't believe it either. Right. Time away from what? Our thriving marriage? I laugh, but there's no humor in it. We haven't had a real conversation in months. She comes home from work, disappears into her phone, and emerges only to criticize my choice of dinner or remind me that successful husbands don't wear the same suit twice in 1 week. The truth is, our marriage has been dissolving like sugar in rain for over a year now. It started with small things, forgotten anniversaries, canceled plans, conversations that felt more like business meetings than intimate exchanges between people who once promised to love each other forever. Now we're roommates who share a mortgage and a mutual talent for avoiding difficult conversations. So what's the problem with the casino trip? Billy asks. The problem is that Trish has been acting strange all week. Secretive phone calls, sudden interest in weekend getaways, and this morning I caught her practicing what sounded like a rehearsed explanation about spa treatments and sister time. I take another sip. Plus, she's been too busy to give me any real details about where they're staying or what they're doing. My phone buzzes with a text from Trish. Having amazing time with girls. Spa was incredible. Going off-grid for rest of weekend. Love you. The message feels as genuine as a $3 bill. Trish hasn't said love you without prompting in 6 months, and she's never voluntarily gone off-grid in her life. Her phone is practically surgically attached to her hand. Let me guess, Billy says, reading my expression. That was her? Yep. Apparently she's discovered the joys of disconnecting from technology. I show him the message. This from a woman who checks Instagram during intimate moments. Billy winces. Too much information, buddy. Sorry, it's just something's not right. My gut's been screaming at me all week, but I can't put my finger on what exactly. That's when I see them. Julie and Karen Clark are walking into Toby's bar with their husbands, Steve and Roy. They're laughing, relaxed, clearly enjoying their Friday night out. Julie's wearing the same dress she posted on social media yesterday, with the caption, "Girls Weekend Prep." Karen looks like she hasn't been near a spa in weeks. My stomach drops like an elevator with cut cables. Billy, I say slowly, not taking my eyes off the group, settling into a booth across the room. Those are Trish's sisters. The ones who are supposed to be at the casino spa with her right now? The very same ones. We watch as Steve orders a round of drinks, and Roy starts telling what appears to be a very animated story. These are not people who just returned from a weekend getaway. These are people starting their Friday night out. Maybe they came back early, Billy suggests, but his voice lacks conviction. Maybe, or maybe my wife has been lying to me about where she's spending her weekend. The pieces start clicking into place like a jigsaw puzzle made of broken trust. And if she's not with her sisters at a casino spa, then where is she? That's the question that's going to change everything. I pull out my phone and open the Find My iPhone app, a family safety feature Trish insisted we activate after watching too many true crime documentaries. Her location shows up immediately, Cape Cod, Massachusetts, specifically a remote area near Falmouth. She's at the Cape, I tell Billy, showing him the screen. Maybe the sisters changed their plans? I'm already scrolling through my contacts, looking for Steve's number. If Julie and Karen are here, and Trish is at the Cape, then someone's lying about something significant. Steve! I call out, walking over to their table with what I hope looks like casual friendliness. How was the girls' weekend? Trish said you guys had an amazing time at the casino. The table goes quiet. Julie and Karen exchange a look that could power a small city with its electrical tension. What girls' weekend? Steve asks, genuinely confused. The casino spa trip. Connecticut. Trish said she was going with Julie and Karen. I keep my voice light, but inside I'm screaming. We've been home all weekend, Karen says quickly. I think there's been some confusion. Confusion! I repeat the word like I'm tasting something sour. Right. My mistake. Nah. I walk back to Billy, my mind racing. Trish lied about the trip. She lied about who she was with. She lied about where she was going. And now she's at some remote location on Cape Cod. Supposedly off-grid, but clearly not where she said she'd be. Nah. We need to leave, I tell Billy. Now. Where are we going? To find out what my wife is really doing this weekend. As we head for the door, I catch Julie trying to make a phone call, probably warning Trish that her cover story just exploded like a cheap firework. Nah, but I'm already 3 steps ahead of her. Nah, the drive from Toby's bar to my house takes 12 minutes on a good day. Tonight, with my mind spinning like a washing machine full of lies, it feels like 12 hours. Billy follows me in his truck, probably wondering if his best friend has finally snapped under the weight of a failing marriage. Nah, I wish it were that simple. My phone rings as I'm pulling into the driveway. Trisha's name appears on the screen, and for a moment I consider letting it go to voicemail. But curiosity wins over anger. Nah, hey, honey. Her voice is bright, artificially cheerful. Just wanted to check in before we head to dinner. Nah, how's the spa? I ask, settling into my kitchen chair and grabbing a notepad. If she's going to lie, I might as well document it. Nah. Oh, it's wonderful. Julie got the most amazing massage, and Karen tried the mud bath treatment. We're all so relaxed. Her performance is Oscar-worthy. The casino's been fun, too. I'm up $40 on the slots. Nah, that's great, sweetheart. Which casino are you at again? Nah, Mohegan Sun. The rooms are beautiful, and the spa here is top-notch. She doesn't miss a beat. We're thinking of making this an annual tradition. Nah, I'm writing down every lie as she tells it. Mohegan Sun. Spa treatments. Annual tradition. All of it fabricated, with the skill of someone who's had practice. Well, I'm glad you're having fun with your sisters, I say. Tell Julie and Karen I said hello. I will. I should go. We have dinner reservations. Love you. The line goes silent, and I stare at my phone like it might offer some explanation for what I just heard. She's not with her sisters. She's not at Mohegan Sun. She's not getting spa treatments. But she just constructed an elaborate lie with the confidence of someone who believes they'll never get caught. Billy knocks on my back door and lets himself in. So, what's the plan? The plan is to figure out what game my wife is playing. I show him the notepad with her lies written down. She just told me she's at Mohegan Sun with her sisters, having dinner after a day of spa treatments and gambling. But her sisters are at Toby's bar. Exactly. And according to Find My Phone, she's not at Mohegan Sun. She's at some remote location on Cape Cod. I pull up the app again, zooming in on her location. Specifically, she's at what looks like a private residence near Falmouth Beach. Billy leans over my shoulder, studying the map. Any idea whose place that might be? That's when it hits me. I've seen this address before, written on a business card that fell out of Trisha's purse a few weeks ago. I thought it was strange at the time. Why would my wife have a real estate agent's personal card with a handwritten address? Nick Flaherty, I say, the name tasting like spoiled milk. He's a real estate agent, married, 2 kids, golden boy reputation. His family has a cottage on the Cape. And how do you know this? Because Trish has mentioned him before. Said he was helping some of her clients find vacation properties. I thought it was just business networking. I laugh, but there's no humor in it. Apparently, I was wrong about a lot of things. The pieces are forming a picture I don't want to see, but can't ignore. Weekend getaway. Remote location. Elaborate lies to cover her tracks. My wife isn't having a crisis of faith in our marriage. She's having an affair. What do you want to do? Billy asks. I want to call Nick's wife. Billy raises an eyebrow. That seems like a nuclear option. Billy, my wife just spent 10 minutes lying to my face about where she is and who she's with. She's at another man's family cottage, telling me she's at a casino with her sisters. Nuclear might be exactly what this situation calls for. I find Nick Flaherty's business website and locate his home number. It's listed right there. Family man, community leader, available for all your real estate needs. I wonder if adultery falls under additional services. The phone rings 3 times before a woman answers. Hello? Hi, is this Sue Flaherty? Yes. Who's calling? This is Chris Mallory. I think we need to talk about our spouses. There's a long pause. I'm sorry, what? My wife is Trish Clark. Right now, she's at your husband's family cottage on Cape Cod. And she's told me she's at a casino with her sisters. I'm calling because I think you deserve to know what's happening. Another pause, longer this time. When Sue speaks again, her voice has changed completely. Where exactly are they? I give her the address from the Find My Phone app. I can send you a screenshot if you want proof. That's my mother-in-law's cottage. Nick said he was going there alone this weekend to do some repairs before the summer season. Her voice is getting steadier, more controlled. He left yesterday morning with a bag full of tools and a promise to call me tonight. Has he called? No, but I wasn't worried because cell service can be spotty out there. She pauses. How long has this been going on? I don't know. I just figured it out tonight when I saw her sisters at a local bar. They were supposed to be on this casino trip together. I find myself feeling sorry for this woman I've never met. I'm sorry to be the one telling you this. Don't apologize. I'd rather know than live in ignorance. Sue's voice has an edge now, sharp and focused. What are you planning to do about it? I honestly don't know. Part of me wants to drive down there right now and confront them both. That would be satisfying, but it wouldn't be smart. They'd just deny everything, and we'd look like the jealous, paranoid spouses. Sue is quiet for a moment. I have a better idea. I'm listening. Let them have their romantic weekend. Let them think they're getting away with it. But starting Monday morning, we make sure they both pay for what they've done. There's something in her tone that tells me Sue Flaherty is not someone to underestimate. What did you have in mind? I'm thinking public humiliation, social destruction, and financial consequences. All perfectly legal, all completely deserved. Her voice is calm, controlled, and absolutely terrifying. Are you interested in a partnership, Chris? I look around my kitchen. The kitchen where Trish and I used to have coffee together every morning, where we planned our future, where she kissed me goodbye on our wedding day. All of it feels like ancient history now. Yes, I tell Sue. I'm very interested. Good. Don't call or text your wife tonight. Act normal. Let them think they're safe. Sue's voice has the confidence of someone who's already 3 steps ahead. Tomorrow morning, we start taking their world apart piece by piece. After I hang up, Billy looks at me with something between admiration and concern. You sure about this? Billy, my wife just spent our entire phone conversation lying to me, while she's probably in bed with another man. She's made me complicit in my own humiliation. I close the notepad and put it in my kitchen drawer. I'm sure. What happens now? Now we wait. And tomorrow, Trish and Nick learn what happens when you underestimate the people you've betrayed. I sleep terribly that night, but for the first time in months, I sleep with purpose. Saturday morning arrives, with the kind of gray sky that matches my mood perfectly. I wake up to a text from Trish, sent at 11:47 p.m. Having so much fun. Wish you were here. Casino night was amazing. The timestamp tells me everything I need to know about what she was really doing at 11:47 last night. And it wasn't playing slot machines. Billy arrives at my house at 9 a.m. with coffee and a toolkit. Ready to start the renovation? He asks. And I know he's not talking about home improvement. First stop is Toby's bar. I want to have another conversation with Julie and Karen, but this time I'm not pretending to be confused. We drive over in Billy's truck, and I'm relieved to see both sisters' cars in the parking lot. Saturday morning breakfast at Toby's is apparently a Clark family tradition I wasn't aware of. Julie and Karen are sitting in the same booth as last night, but now they're with their husbands and what looks like a group of neighborhood friends. Perfect. The bigger the audience, the better. Ladies, I say, approaching their table with a smile that doesn't reach my eyes. I wanted to thank you for clearing up that confusion last night. The table goes quiet. Julie looks like she'd rather be anywhere else on earth. What confusion? Karen asks, but her voice lacks conviction. About the girls' weekend. You know, the casino spa trip that Trish said she was taking with both of you. I pull out my phone and show them the screenshot of Trish's location. Funny thing is, she's not at any casino. She's at a beach cottage on Cape Cod. Steve looks confused. What's going on here? What's going on, Steve? Is that your wife has been helping my wife cover up an affair? I keep my voice conversational, but loud enough for the surrounding tables to hear. Julie and Karen have been providing alibis for Trish's weekend getaways with her boyfriend. That's not true, Julie protests, but her face has turned the color of fresh snow. Really? Then explain why Trish told me she was with both of you at Mohegan Sun last night, while you were actually here having drinks with your husbands. I turn to address the wider group. See, Trish has been using her sisters as cover stories for months. Girls' weekends, spa trips, shopping excursions, all lies to hide the fact that she's been cheating on me. Karen stands up abruptly, knocking over her coffee cup. The hot liquid spreads across the table, and several people jump back. You don't know what you're talking about. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I also know that both of you have been lying to your own husbands about where you've been and what you've been doing. I look directly at Steve and Roy. Ask them about the shopping trip 2 weeks ago. The one where they supposedly bought matching purses but came home empty-handed because the store was out of gift boxes. Steve's face is getting red. Julie, is this true? It's complicated, Julie says, which is exactly the wrong answer to give an angry husband in front of a crowd of neighbors. It's not complicated at all, I continue. Your wives have been providing cover for my wife's affair, and they've been lying to you about it. The question is, what else have they been lying about? Roy stands up now, his chair scraping against the floor. Karen, we're going home. Now. Roy, wait, let me explain. Explain what? That you've been helping someone cheat on their spouse? That you've been lying to me for months? Roy's voice is getting louder, drawing even more attention. How long has this been going on? The beautiful thing about public confrontations is that they take on a life of their own. I don't need to keep pushing. The momentum is building naturally. Other people in the bar are starting to whisper, phones are coming out, and the Clark sisters are realizing that their social standing in this neighborhood is about to crater. This is ridiculous, Julie says, but she's looking around nervously at all the faces turned toward our table. Chris is having some kind of breakdown. Am I? Then call Trish right now. Ask her to put you on speaker so you can all say hello. I cross my arms and wait. Go ahead, I'll wait. Julie reaches for her phone, then stops. She knows she can't make that call because Trish will either not answer or will immediately realize that her cover story has collapsed. That's what I thought, I say. You can't call her because she's not where she told me she'd be, and you both know it. Billy, who has been quietly watching this unfold, leans over to me. I think you've made your point. He's right. Half the bar is now staring at our table. Steve and Roy are both furious with their wives, and Julie and Karen look like they want to disappear into the floor. The first phase of Sue's plan, social destruction, is already working. Well, ladies, thanks for the enlightening conversation. I drop a 20 on the table to cover the spilled coffee. I'm sure you'll have lots to discuss with your husbands on the drive home. As we walk away, I can hear the arguments starting behind us. Raised voices, accusations, denials that sound increasingly desperate. By tonight, this story will be all over the neighborhood's social media groups. Phase 1 complete? Billy asks as we get back in his truck. Phase 1 complete. Now we move to Phase 2, which is changing the locks on my house and making sure Trish comes home to a very different situation than the one she left. We spend the next 2 hours at my house, with Billy installing new locks on all the doors and changing the garage door code. While he works, I systematically go through Trish's belongings, packing everything into boxes and garbage bags. I'm not stealing anything or destroying her property. I'm just making it clear that she no longer lives here. Her clothes, her toiletries, her books, her decorative items that I never liked anyway, all of it goes into containers that I stack neatly in the garage. The wedding dress gets special treatment. I hang it on a scarecrow frame in the front yard with a sign that reads, "Free to good home, slightly used." My phone buzzes with a text from Sue. Nick just called. Says he'll be home tonight. Told me the cottage repairs took longer than expected. How did your morning go? I text back. Social nuclear option deployed. Sisters' marriages are imploding. House is secured. Ready for Phase 2. Perfect. Tomorrow we destroy their professional lives. I'm looking forward to it. By 4 p.m., my house looks like a different place. Clean, organized, and completely free of Trish's presence. Billy has installed smart locks that I can control from my phone, and we've set up a security camera system that will record everything that happens on my property. You sure about this? Billy asks as we're finishing up. This feels pretty final. It is final. The moment Trish decided to lie to me and cheat on me, she made this choice. I look around at what used to be our home and now feels like mine again. I'm just making sure she understands the consequences. My phone rings at 6:30 p.m. Trish's name appears on the screen, and I let it ring 4 times before answering. "Hey, honey," I say, matching her artificially cheerful tone from yesterday. "Hi, we're just packing up to head home. The weekend was incredible. I feel so refreshed." Her voice has that fake brightness that I now recognize as her lying voice. "How was your weekend?" "Oh, quiet. Spent some time reorganizing the house. Had an interesting conversation with your sisters at Toby's bar." There's a pause. "You saw Julie and Karen?" "Yeah, funny story about that. I'll tell you all about it when you get home." I keep my voice light and casual. "Drive safely, sweetheart. I'll be waiting for you." After I hang up, Billy looks at me with something like admiration. "You're enjoying this." "Billy, for the first time in months, I feel like I'm in control of my own life." I check the security camera app on my phone. Everything's working perfectly. Tomorrow, Trish learns what happens when you underestimate someone you've been lying to. What time do you think she'll get here? Based on traffic from the Cape, probably around 9 p.m. I settle into my favorite chair, the one Trish always complained was too big for the living room. Should be an interesting evening. At 8:47 p.m., my security cameras pick up Trish's car pulling into the driveway. She sits in the car for several minutes, probably on the phone with Nick or her sisters, trying to figure out how much trouble she's in. Finally, she gets out and walks to the front door. I watch on my phone as she tries her key, realizes it doesn't work, and tries again. Then she notices the wedding dress scarecrow in the yard. Even through the security camera, I can see her face change as she realizes what's happening. She starts pounding on the door. Chris, open this door right now." I turn up the volume on my TV and settle in to watch the show. This is going to be a long night, and I'm going to enjoy every minute of it. Sunday morning arrives, with Trish's car gone from my driveway and 17 missed calls on my phone. According to my security cameras, she spent 2 hours pounding on doors and windows before finally giving up around midnight. The wedding dress scarecrow remained untouched. Even in her fury, she couldn't bring herself to deal with that particular symbol. Billy arrives at 8 a.m. with coffee and what looks like a tackle box full of supplies. "Ready for phase 2? More than ready." Sue texted me Nick's address and his schedule. Apparently, he has an open house this afternoon, which means his car will be sitting unattended in a driveway for at least 2 hours. And what exactly are we doing to his car? I show Billy the contents of my own supply kit: a bag of glitter, several cans of tuna, a bottle of fish sauce, and a small container of shrimp paste. We're giving Nick's luxury sedan a new aroma profile. That's diabolical. That's the point. Nick Flaherty drives a white Tesla Model S, the kind of car that screams successful real estate agent who takes himself too seriously. It's usually parked in the circular driveway of his colonial-style house in the upscale part of town, where the lawns are perfect and the secrets are expensive. We drive by his house at noon, and sure enough, the Tesla is there while Nick is presumably at his open house across town. The neighborhood is quiet, the kind of Sunday afternoon calm that's perfect for a little creative revenge. Billy parks his truck 2 blocks away, and we walk back with our supplies in a normal-looking gym bag. To anyone watching, we're just 2 guys out for a Sunday walk. "Keep an eye out," I tell Billy as I approach the Tesla. The car is unlocked. Apparently, Nick's arrogance extends to his personal security. I start with the fish sauce, pouring it carefully under the seats and into the air vents. The smell is immediate and overwhelming, like low tide mixed with regret. Then comes the shrimp paste, strategically placed in locations where it won't be immediately visible, but will create maximum olfactory impact. The glitter goes everywhere: seats, dashboard, floor mats, steering wheel. It's the kind of craft glitter that sticks to everything and never completely comes off. Every time Nick gets in this car for the next 6 months, he'll find glitter on his clothes. Finally, I place the open cans of tuna under the seats and close the doors. "How long before he notices?" Billy asks as we walk away. "Depends on how successful his open house is. But I'm guessing the moment he opens that car door, his day is going to get significantly worse." Phase 2 isn't just about the car, though. Sue and I have been coordinating our efforts, and she's been busy gathering intelligence on Nick's professional life. Apparently, Mr. Golden Boy has been cutting corners on some of his recent sales, and Sue has documentation that could cause serious problems with his real estate license. My phone buzzes with a text from Sue. Package delivered to state licensing board. Also sent copies to his broker and 3 biggest clients. How's the car project going? I text back. Tuna surprise deployed. Should be discovering it right about now. Perfect. Meet me at Riverside Park in an hour. Time for the public confrontation. Riverside Park is where Nick takes his kids every Sunday afternoon. Another piece of intelligence from Sue's reconnaissance mission. It's also where half the neighborhood brings their families for weekend picnics and playground time. In other words, it's the perfect venue for a very public conversation. Billy and I arrive first, positioning ourselves near the playground where we can see Nick's approach. Sue shows up 10 minutes later, and I'm surprised by how normal she looks. I was expecting someone who looked as angry as I felt, but Sue appears calm, controlled, almost serene. You must be Chris, she says, extending her hand. I've been looking forward to meeting you. Likewise, how are you holding up? Better than I expected. There's something liberating about finally knowing the truth instead of wondering why your husband has been acting strange for months. Sue looks around the park. Nick should be here soon. He's very predictable about his Sunday routine. What's the plan? Simple. We confront him publicly, calmly, and with witnesses. No violence, no screaming, just a clear statement of facts that destroys his reputation in front of people who matter to him. Nick arrives at 2:30 p.m. with his 2 kids, a boy about 8 and a girl maybe 6. He looks like he's having a rough day, probably thanks to the surprise we left in his car. His usually perfect hair is disheveled, and he keeps checking his phone like he's expecting bad news. Showtime, Sue says, and we approach as a group. Nick, Sue calls out, her voice carrying across the playground. We need to talk. Nick looks up, sees his wife and 2 strangers approaching, and his face goes through several interesting color changes. Sue, what are you doing here? Who are these people? This is Chris Mallory, Sue says loudly enough for nearby families to hear. His wife Trish has been spending weekends at your mother's cottage, the same weekends you told me you were going there alone to do repairs. Several parents stop their conversations to listen. Nick glances around nervously, realizing that this conversation is about to become very public. I don't know what you're talking about, Nick says, but his voice lacks conviction. Really? Then explain why Chris's wife told him she was at a casino with her sisters yesterday, while her phone showed she was at the cottage with you. I pull out my phone and show him the screenshot. That's your family's address, isn't it? Nick's face is getting red. This is ridiculous. You people are crazy. Are we? Then call Trish right now. Ask her to confirm where she was yesterday. Sue crosses her arms. Go ahead, we'll wait. By now, we have an audience of about 15 people, including several families that Nick clearly recognizes from the neighborhood. His kids are looking confused and worried, picking up on the tension without understanding what's happening. I'm not calling anyone. You people need to leave me alone. Nick starts to back away, but Sue steps forward. Actually, Nick, we're just getting started. See, I've spent the morning sending some very interesting documents to your broker, your licensing board, and several of your clients. Sue's voice remains calm and conversational. Documents about shortcuts you've been taking, inspections you've been skipping, and disclosure requirements you've been ignoring. Nick's face goes white. You can't prove anything. I don't have to prove anything. I just have to raise questions. And once people start asking questions about your professional ethics, well, Sue shrugs. Let's just say your golden boy reputation is about to get very tarnished. You're destroying my career over a misunderstanding. I'm not destroying anything, Sue replies. You did that yourself when you decided to cheat on your wife and lie to your family. I'm just making sure everyone knows who you really are. Nick tries to grab his kids and leave, but his son pulls away. Daddy, why is Mommy angry? What did you do? And there it is. The moment when Nick realizes that his children are going to remember this conversation for the rest of their lives. His perfect family image, his community standing, his professional reputation, all of it crumbling in real time at a playground on a Sunday afternoon. This isn't over, Nick says, but his voice has lost all its authority. You're right, I tell him. It's not over, it's just getting started. As Nick hurries away with his confused children, I notice several people in the crowd taking pictures and videos with their phones. By tonight, this confrontation will be all over social media, and Nick's reputation will be in ruins. Phase 2 complete? Billy asks. Phase 2 complete, Sue confirms. Tomorrow we finish what we started. My phone buzzes with a text from Trish. We need to talk. I'm staying at Julie's tonight, but this isn't over. I show the message to Sue, who smiles for the first time all day. Tell her you're looking forward to the conversation, Sue suggests. But don't tell her when or where it's going to happen. I type back. Absolutely. We have so much to discuss. I'll be in touch. Then I turn off my phone and head home to prepare for the final phase of our plan. Tomorrow, Trish learns what happens when you underestimate someone you've been lying to for months. Monday morning brings rain and the kind of gray sky that matches my mood perfectly. I wake up to 14 missed calls from Trish and a voicemail that's equal parts anger and desperation. Chris, you can't just lock me out of my own house. This is insane. Call me back immediately. But Trish isn't my priority this morning. Sue and I have bigger plans. I arrive at my law office at 7 a.m., 2 hours before anyone else, and spend the time preparing what I'm calling the Truth Campaign. It's amazing how much damage you can do with nothing but facts, email addresses, and a talent for clear communication. Sue meets me at 9 a.m. with a folder full of documents and a laptop bag. Ready for the professional destruction phase? More than ready. I've got the email list from our wedding, 247 people, including family, friends, colleagues, and neighbors, plus contact information for Trish's entire professional network. And I've got documentation of Nick's corner cutting, copies of his inappropriate text messages to multiple women, and a timeline of his lies over the past 6 months. Sue opens her laptop. By